So will just layer straw like that compost and become soil?
Yes.
Without bringing that
Here's the
with
thing.
it?
Okay. Like Steve Solomon says, you want a carbon-nitrogen ratio of about 25 to 1, and that's your ideal carbon mix. And that compost works real fast. Things like coffee grounds, grass clippings, they're like 12 to 1. Chicken manure is like 6 to 1. Hay is like 50 to 1. So what you can do is to make really good compost, and I've done this, you take, you layer up your hay and your manure like 6 layers, a little bit, and then it works, and the worms that are working it, and then the action of the rain and the normal perturbation of the soil, of the ground, works it, and then you don't have to do anything to it, it's done. It takes a year or two. Okay, so you don't have to do that by putting extra coffee grounds or whatever in it. You can just leave the hay, and I've done this. It just takes longer. And then it just breaks down, and then it's just perfect. Ruth Stout, starting in the 50s through the 70s, and then she died in 78 or something, she was a proponent of this mulching method, where she would just keep putting hay on there all the time, and she just pull the hay apart and then just plant. And she had all these pictures of her. This is the no-work gardener at work, and she'd be lying on the couch watching TV, and because it was real simple. And I tried that, but around here, the soil doesn't heat up enough, and you got a slug problem. So that's why it doesn't work around here. But you just getting anything. There are certain things that you're never going to break down, like hazelnut husks. That's more of a mulch around your ornamentals. But things like hay and straw and coffee grounds and all your kitchen garbage, the stuff that compost I sent around, that's just kitchen garbage. It works great.
Where does there's a city place where people bring all their clippings to? Does that stay in the county, or is that being shipped off?
I don't know. I had one place over in Birch Bay where I got as much of that as I wanted. But the thing is that it gets slimy real fast because it's high nutrient value, and you have to wonder how much chemical residue is in there. That's why I don't like that stuff, because you have these landscaping services, and they go out and they cut people's lawns, and the people are putting. As a general rule, people on their lawns are putting way too much chemical fertilizer.
Well, City Parks was using that when I was working there for several years.
Yeah.
So we would run out because I did the
So
green
does it
waste
stay in the
program, and we didn't have
county?
enough left over for our.
It's composted on Meadowlark Lane, right behind the soil, the NRCS office. Yeah.
Because I think in the past I heard rumors they were shipping it to Skagit.
Could be. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? Yes.
How does hydroponic gardening compare in quality with food that's planted in soil?
Well, I can
this
taste
is
the difference.
vertical gardens, with
Yeah.
finished
See,
gardens.
I can taste the difference between greenhouse stuff and the stuff that grows out in the sun and wind. And it certainly tastes the difference between hydroponics.
It's not as good.
No, as far as the nutrient value, I don't know, but it does taste good to me. And hydroponics is the whole idea of hydroponics is you're feeding all these chemicals and water, and then you have artificial lights. So you don't have the full spectrum of light from the sun. So I can't see how it can be good. But yet, if you want your salad mix from Whatcom County at the co-op in January, it's either going to be in a greenhouse or it's going to be hydroponics. That's just what it is. So what's the alternative? Well, you eat sprouts, or you have high tunnels on your farm, or maybe even low tunnels too. So there are ways to get around it. You don't need to go to hydroponics, in other words. But people might disagree with me. But go ahead.
Have you experimented at all with the low tunnels and the things that Elliot told me to do?
Well, I tried putting up a high tunnel one year, and a big wind came up the next day and then laid it right over. And so, well, you live out by us. There's just tremendous amounts of wind.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's like being in Browning, Montana. Yeah, like last night, for instance. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so
Do you use plastic?
that's why people who do greenhouses out where we are, they put up rigid structures, glass or those panels made with timbered wood, etc.
Did you do plastic, PVC, or did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got some used plastic, and I put the PVC poles in the ground, and I laid it all out, and it looked just like in one of the Elliot Coleman drawings, and it was great. And I thought, okay, the next day, wind came out, just laid it flat. It didn't break, it didn't break the PVC, and it didn't pull the plastic. It just laid it flat, it was just high.
Yeah.
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 So,
Teresa had a good idea last night. Was she talking about sinking in the ground?
oh, she wanted to know how to do it, and that's like with that greenhouse, that hoop house we built out of David Peterson's. What he did there is you put either your rebar in, and then you put your PVC pipe over it, and then you just put a clamp or something on it, or you could actually put pipe in the ground. You pound that pipe in, and then you put the your PVC over it so it fits tight. You drill a hole through both of them, just put a bolt in. Another thing you do with the plastic is you make sure you got enough, and you just cover with soil or with old scrap 2x4s. And that'll hold.
A ton of wind.
Right, yeah. That's what held in the wind for me. We had all these old 2x4s, and I just laid them on there, and the plastic didn't pull.
Old rebar works real well too.
Yeah. And just to get that weight. And another thing is that constant wind is going to pull it a little bit, and so one of the things that people do, especially out where we are out by Grandview, is they put like a rubber or some sort of a rope over the top of it just to hold it down every 4 feet or something like that. That's what I need to do. Hoop houses are really coming into their own now. And like at the experiment station in Mount Vernon last year, they had a little experiment where they had tomatoes and potatoes inside a hoop house, and then right outside they had tomatoes and potatoes outside in the wind and the sun. And the ones outside got blight, the ones inside the hoop house didn't. And they're open on both ends. So that's one another